Here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jen. How you doing
For
today?
you,
It is a good morning for me. I don't know about you.
maybe for the guy across the table.
It's going to be a better Friday morning.
I know what you did. I know about all your voodoo curses you put on my players, all your reverse jinxes that you inflict upon my team. I know you've got a Dak voodoo doll that you keep up in your mansion up in Bel Air. And you just stick those pins in the shoulder and in the index finger and then over the left wrist.
Yeah.
Got it all. Way to go. Congratulations, Shannon Sharp. You did it again.
I ain't doing anything. I'm just minding my own business.
Yeah.
Minding your own business. That's just what you do, right?
it. That's it.
Yeah, never. All right, we have an absolutely packed show today. Will LeBron dethrone reigning MVP Giannis tonight
He ain't
in
the king.
Milwaukee? And is Tom Brady finally facing a challenge he just simply can't overcome? But first, we do have to talk about the latest with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. The Dallas QB was limited in practice yesterday due to a right shoulder injury he suffered in the first half of the Rams game. In that game, Dak was also dealing with a finger injury that had conflicting reports on its severity. With the shoulder news, the Cowboys have become slightly less favored, but what's more worrisome for the league's second leading passer is what Jason Garrett and Ezekiel Elliott had to say about Dak's injury. Take a listen.
It's hard for him to function right now, so don't anticipate him throwing much in practice today.
Dak's going to play. I think he's just resting up, make sure everything is as right as it can be by game time. Dealt with some AC joints, and they were tough. I couldn't imagine having to throw with it. So, but I know Dak. I know his toughness.
Well, Shannon, is Dak's shoulder injury a big deal or no big deal?
Well, I think the deal is the Cowboys are making it a bigger deal than what it needs to be.
Okay.
Skip, the one thing that, teams try to hide injuries. And, the NFL made teams started listing it when a player's injured. But normally they're vague. Leg. Could be his knee, could be his hip, could be a quad, could be his ankle, toe, something, foot. But they just say leg because they don't want you to focus in. The last thing you want a team to know is that my quarterback shoulder is injured. Because now I'm going to do everything I possibly can, Skip, to try to put you on it. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to try to hit you on that shoulder. Thank you for telling me. Injured here, injured here, injured here. Skip, look, I think this is because the Cowboys are feeling the pressure. The Cowboys are favored on the road against a division rival. They are the better team considering all the injuries that the Eagles have faced. Greg Ward Jr. is the guy, one of the guys they rely heavily on. He was a practice squad guy at the start of the season. Boston Scott, another guy that they count on to contribute heavily. He was a practice squad guy. So you're down Deshaun, you're down D-Jack, you're down Alshon. You're counting on guys that you weren't counting on at the start of the season. The Cowboys come off their most impressive performance to date. Over a winning team, hung 44, rushed for 240 plus. Dak didn't throw often, but he was very efficient when he did throw. Skip, you know the Cowboys. That's what Vegas said. Vegas said Cowboys are favored. But now what the Cowboys are trying to do, Jenny said up for the okie doke. Well, Dak is injured, and if something doesn't go our way, it was because Dak is injured. No, we're not buying that. Put some medicine in it, because I can sure, you know what? If I'm an owner of a football team and my players are not sore, if they don't have bumps and bruises, I need to fire some people. Because it's week 16, and it's a long season. You've been going at this since late July, and here we are in December. So if you're not sore, I need to know why. Well, explains you're 7-7 because you're probably not as sore. You probably should be even sore. Skip, there are plenty of quarterbacks that's dealing with issues. But I think the thing is for me, is that why am I finding out about this? You don't normally disclose, especially a quarterback in the shoulder. You definitely try to keep that under wraps because you don't want people trying to target. Quarterback already has a target on his back. He's the quarterback. People consider him the head of the snake. What do? You chop the head off, you kill the snake. Well, you just told your head, told the opposing team that the head of your snake is injured. And you pinpointed and put a big old target on and say, this is where its injury is located. So, Skip, the Cowboys are playing this up. We should not know about this. I get, Troy saying what he said, okay, fine. But for the team to come out and publicly say this, nah, they're making it a bigger deal than what it needs to be. They'll put some medicine in that AC joint, and he'll be fine.
Not medicine, painkiller.
Medicine.
Yeah. It's not medicine.
It is medicine.
Medicine heals. Painkiller just masks.
Oh, it heals.
Right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good play.
Don't call it medicine.
What you hit?
Opposite of.
That's what it is.
Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe is now suggesting that my team, the Dallas Cowboys, is crumbling under the pressure,
Feeling it.
choking its guts out ahead of its game of the year to the point that it is exaggerating, if not fabricating, injuries to the quarterback. Isn't that your premise, right?
Premise.
Okay, thank you very
In a
much.
nutshell.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell the truth, the painful truth. This is a big, bad deal for my Dallas Cowboys. This feels not meant to be. Like about half of this year, 7 games this year, felt not meant to be because they lost 7 out of 14. So I say, Merry Christmas, Philadelphia. I say, fly, Eagles, fly. And I say, why, Dallas, why? Here we go again. It's just like this whole season has been one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So what is happening to the point spread? You said my team was favored. Yeah, it was. And now it's plunging.
Yeah.
It's gone down a full point already. And trust me, as this day wears on, it'll go down to 1 point. It might be pick 'em by the kickoff of this game because there's so much question. It's so up in the air about whether my quarterback will even play in this football game.
Oh, my goodness, Skip. Stop it now.
So what do we know about my quarterback?
What do we know about him?
In 4 years, and we're almost to the conclusion of his 4th year, he has not missed a single game, nor in his history a single practice. Wow. Now, one time has Dak Prescott ever even been listed as limited in a practice? Not once until yesterday. And not only was he limited, he was DNP, did not practice. He stood and watched the practice. According to all the media members, he did not even attempt to throw a single pass, but he did try a few left-handed. He tossed a few with his wrong hand.
Sure.
Fabricating? I think not. It's you can't, you say, oh, why would you disclose this? You can't hide the fact that the quarterback didn't practice. You can hide a whole lot of stuff in practice, but if the quarterback doesn't throw a single pass, even if they tried to fake it and he just handed the ball off the whole practice, maybe you could sort of try to get away
Skip,
with that.
but you didn't have to disclose the reason why he didn't practice. Okay, yeah, I get that, Skip. You can't hide that he did, that the quarterback, well, we didn't see Dak at practice today. Okay, you can't hide that, but must you disclose why he isn't practicing?
Okay.
He has so many things wrong with him. I think you can't help not exposing. You almost have to disclose why can't he even throw the football? Is it his fractured index finger on his throwing hand? Well, they tried to downplay that, and they said that's no big deal. After our man Troy Aikman obviously reported after a conversation with Dak on the field before the game that Dak indicated to him, I have a hairline fracture at the tip of my index finger on my throwing hand.
Correct.
Not the end of the world, but not the greatest thing because it's just a distraction. It's just it's an annoyance is what it is. And in colder weather, it can ache. Will it slightly affect your accuracy? Maybe slightly affect. Your middle finger is the last finger to come off the football, but still, it could just bother you. It's not the best thing going into the biggest game of the year. This is obviously a playoff game before the playoffs start, right? This is one game or bust.
Right.
You are either in or you are out.
Yep.
So is this any way for my quarterback to get ready for the biggest game of the year? I think not. What was Jason Garrett? Jason Garrett, you can say a lot of things about him, and I said a whole lot of things about him, but he's always reasonably honest. Sometimes he's evasive, but he will not lie to the media in my history of carefully studying Jason Garrett. So he was pointedly asked twice yesterday, will Dak be able to go on Sunday? And he said both times, I just don't know. And I think that was an honest reaction on his part because his quarterback couldn't throw a single pass in practice. Usually with Dak, you would get the quote of, Dak's a warrior. That's what they always say. Dak's a warrior, and Jason would just sort of shrug it off and say, sure, I'm sure he'll suck it up.
The crooks is Dak going to play on Sunday?
I don't know.
Stop it.
Well, I just don't know.
I know.
Well, I hope you know, because I don't. And again, Ed Werder reported that he even pulled Jason aside as they walked out of the press conference and said, Jason, play or not play? And he said, honestly, I'm not sure about that.
You know what the problem is, Skip Bayless? The Cowboys and everybody under takes a cue from their owner. because he can't keep his mouth shut. And guess what? Nobody else can keep their mouth shut. There is no way, okay, if your quarterback's not playing, not practicing, got no problem with that. But for you to disclose the very nature of the injury, shoulder injury. Now, the play that happened on was the Clay Matthews play that he ran.
Not sure about that.
I'm willing to bet on that.
Okay, well, I'm about to break that down for you.
Because Skip, as a matter of fact, I broke my collarbone on a very similar play like
really?
that. Got teacupped on the side. And back in '92, the rest is so Dave Durison, I ran a 7 route and partially dislocated both shoulders on a play like that. Landed on it, and then Dave Durison landed on the top of me and did the other one.
Okay.
So I've seen these injuries before. But, Skip, if it's an AC joint, they're going to put some medicine now. Obviously, it's very painful. They're trying to do some stretching, trying to keep as much strength in that shoulder as they possibly can. But they're going to put medicine in that shoulder. You know that. And Dak Prescott's
You
going
mean
to
painkiller?
Okay, Skip.
Yeah, well, there's no way to fix it right now. You can't heal
They're
it
gonna
on the
try
fly.
to-
You know what I mean. They're gonna inject his shoulder. Dak Prescott's gonna go out there and he's gonna feel just fine. But if I'm Fletcher Cox, I'm doing everything I possibly can to put Dak on that shoulder.
Well, unfortunately, he's got a shoulder and
I don't care nothing about no finger. I don't care nothing about, because guess what? I want that shoulder. And I'm gonna try to put him on that shoulder. And if I'm Fletcher, I'm gonna try to put all 300 pounds on it.
So Jason Garrett is not known for gamesmanship. He's not one of those shrewd operators.
Okay.